Welcome to Invisible Strings, where we tug at the little threads that hold our lives together. From mental health and relationships to marriage, motherhood, and all the beautiful chaos in between. I'm Katie, your guide to navigating life's tangled web, one string at a time. Think of this as your weekly dose of insight, sprinkled with a bit of laughter, some heartfelt chats, and maybe even a happy tear or two. So, whether you're juggling a million things or you just need a break, let's untangle life together, because those invisible strings, they're what keep us connected. This is Invisible Strings. Let's get started.
Hey, Katie.
Hi.
Hi. So you do these intros, all of our friends,
Yeah.
but I feel like it's our turn to celebrate you just a little bit.
I love you.
Gosh, how are you going to do your own intro? Katie, welcome to my show.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're so welcome. Thank you for being here.
This is such an amazing platform.
Thank you. Welcome to my studio.
Thank you. It's just really good. I love this couch.
Oh my gosh. Yes. This couch is epic. I love this couch so much. I love this home. I love everything about this home and what you've created here. But can I tell you what my favorite thing is?
Yeah.
My favorite thing about you is the way you show your love. It's bold, unapologetic, fearless, happy, thoughtful, and contagious. You spread joy and raw emotion to everyone you meet. I am so grateful to know you, and I'm honored to be your friend.
That is so sweet.
Yeah.
I love you.
So the people have been asking.
The people
have been asking you, when can we learn about you, Katie?
You guys, have I not spoken enough
No.
in the last 16 weeks?
No. And here being a product of one of your interviews, I will say, by the way, this is the only reason why I am doing this or why I did the interview, because I said, if I do it, you have to do it. So you're in the hot seat today, sister. You are in the hot seat today. Tell me about foster care and what your relationship is with foster care.
So fun.
Tell me everything. Y'all have done this before.
We've done this before. We started doing it 4 years ago. Actually, Brad and I talked about this before we even got married. We were like, I've talked about that before, but Brad is like, I would like to have 4 kids and then we can adopt. And I'm like, okay, fine. And then once we had 3, I was like, I feel like we should just adopt now. Like, I was kind of like, my body looks really good. I feel good. I feel like we should adopt now. And he's like, nope, 4. We need to have another one. And then we can talk about adoption. At that point, we were just like, adoption, like, we're just gonna adopt. We're just gonna adopt. But like,
You're
we
just
didn't
going
know.
to adopt.
We didn't know about like the foster care system. We didn't know how many kids are in desperate need of just someone to take care of them. When we moved down to North Carolina, we had Jack was like 1.5 years. And I remember being like, should we look into foster? And Brad's like, no, we just moved. And what? And I'm like, yeah, but I've just gotten like a lot of, I've gotten like a lot of signs and stuff like that that's something that we should start looking into. And he's like, no, like, stop. And when we moved down here, that's when I started to really hear God. It was so evident. And it was like so evident to the point of I was watching the Today Show. They had done a special on a firefighter and a pastor, because it was on forgiveness. And the firefighter had just gotten off his 24-hour shift and was driving home. And the pastor and his wife, who was pregnant, like 8 months pregnant, and their 18-month-old child, were all in the car. And the firefighter fell asleep and he hit them. And the wife passed away and the unborn baby passed away.
Oh my gosh.
But the pastor lived, and so did the 18-month-old. And it was horrible. And 2 years after that experience, the pastor was walking out of the store and the firefighter's walking in to get a card, because it had been 2 years, to send this card to the pastor. He sent a card the first year and sent a card again. And it was all about, and they saw each other. They just walked up to each other and hugged each other and cried for like 30 minutes. And I am bawling my eyes out. And Jack is like, Mommy, you okay? You know, I thought, what would be like, not that God needs to prove himself and not that he ever needed to prove himself, but like the story ended and they became best friends. Okay. So the pastor gets remarried. The firefighter is like 20 years old. So he ends up getting married. They have more kids. They become godfathers in each other's lives. Like, it was the most beautiful story of redemption. And obviously, our God is a redemptive God and like redeems everything. And it was just, I'm goosebumps. Like, it was just such a beautiful story. And I'm hysterically crying. And I thought to myself, like, I don't like get down on my knees and like pray. I feel like I'm praying all day. Like, I'm literally talking to God all day. Like, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm talking to him as I'm bawling, and I'm like, what would be like the one thing that only God could redeem, right?
Yeah.
And I said, I think it's Brad's relationship with his dad. But Brad's dad's name is Glenn. Okay?
Glenn.
But Brad's brother's name is also Glenn. And I'm only saying this because of what happened next. So, you guys, not more than 25 minutes later, Brad sends me a voice text message with nothing other than the voice text message. And I press play, and it's, hey, buddy, I haven't talked to you in a long time. You've been on my heart lately.
What?
You know, blah, blah, blah. Like, just very beautiful message. And I'm thinking, who is that? Who is talking? Glenn.
Oh my gosh.
But not Glenn dad, Glenn brother. Okay. And so Glenn brother has done this like huge transformation in his life. And when I heard his message, I started laughing because I was like, you don't even need to show me this, God. You don't even need to prove yourself or anything, but you chose to do that. And when we left Northbrook, it was so loud there.
Yeah.
So much noise, so much noise. And when we got down here, that was one of the first things that happened. And Brad calls me and he goes, can you believe that? Like, why would he call me? What does he want? And I'm sorry, Glenn or Dominica or anyone that's listening to this, like, this is like a good story, but if you guys are even listening, but Brad says, I can't believe he's calling me. What does he want? You know, like, this is crazy. And I say, and he's like, I'm not going to call him back. And I'm like, I think you should call him back. And he's like, why would you say that? And I'm like, well, I was just having this conversation with God. You know, I'm going to need you to stop praying to God about things without talking to me about it first. And I'm like,
this is affecting me as well, Katie.
I'm so sorry, honey, that you have to do a hard thing, but I really think that it would be good if you called him back. He sounds different to me. It sounds like things are different for him. This is a good thing. And so it was a good thing. And they did repair their relationship. And there's been obviously no repair with his parents or anything like that, which is such a different thing.
We're
but
so
like,
praying.
that's sweet of you. Thank you. But it was just like, that was a big sign from God. And so then once you kind of start seeing that he is really communicating with us and you can feel the Holy Spirit inside of you and you're not confusing that with other things, then you really start to see things. And so that foster care has been on my heart ever since I started learning about it when we first moved down here. And we did it for 2 years. It was hard.
Yeah.
The foster care system, its purpose is to reunify the child with the parents. And that is a good thing.
Is that the biggest difference between foster and adopt?
Well, yeah. So
can you foster to adopt?
Yes.
Okay.
So you can foster to adopt. Well, but again, like they'll tell you when you get into the foster care system, like our main purpose is to try to reunify.
Got it.
It's not necessarily the purpose which has the best intent for the child.
Okay.
What I have found is the reunification process makes it so that the state doesn't have to pay for the child anymore.
Got it.
And so this was a really hard thing to discover as we were doing this with our last little girl, Gigi, who I think I've talked about before.
Yes. Such a special place in y'all's heart. My God.
Little 2-year-old. She was so beautiful. And the other thing about foster care is like, I feel like I have a heart for these women too. The moms, because none of us are born and then decide like, I want to have an addiction issue. I want to have a mental health issue. I want to be born into a family where it just, the cycle continues. And obviously not everyone's strong enough or they can't
have
break
the
the addiction.
Or, they were born. Yeah.
Yep. So I do really have a heart for these women also.
Absolutely.
And I feel like as women, as now, like when you have a baby, you've had this child, this is like, if I have the ability to take your child for you so that you can get help
Yeah.
Like, I feel as women, that is something in our souls that we should strive to be there for other women.
Oh, yeah.
And instead of the shaming, there's a lot of shaming.
Yeah. I know.
And it's hard. I'm not saying it's bad to feel that way or be angry that a mom isn't choosing the right steps or getting the right help or whatever. I understand all the sides of it, but I think it's so important that, like, if I can help you for a few months so you can go get sober, I'm happy to do that because God's given me the ability to do that.
Your intent was never to adopt. It was
No,
always
it was.
It
No,
was.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it was.
Okay.
I'm just kind of giving everyone the preface of
Yeah.
you can't go into foster with,
Yeah.
you can go into foster with the intent to adopt,
Yeah.
but it's a long process.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't happen, but like for our friend Evelyn, like, what a beautiful story. What an amazing, I'm just, if it's going to happen to anybody, I want it to happen to her 10 times
You need to talk to
over.
her.
You know what I mean?
I know. She is just, oh my gosh. That whole story is insane.
She needs to be on the podcast. Evelyn,
1,000%.
you need to be on the podcast.
Yes.
Reach out to her today.
You should.
Because it's so beautiful. And it's also beautiful for the kids. So we had Gigi for a few months. Oh, wait, I already talked about the mom, right?
Yeah, she was.
Okay, so she
lost a baby.
Lost her baby and was born early. Jackie, please get out of the thing. And then she had a second baby and she gave birth to her and she was using and had fallen asleep and had suffocated the baby by accident. Yeah. At 2 months. And then she had Gigi. And surprisingly, they let her keep her because I think she went to jail and like it was big. It's like in the news and stuff.
You can go to the jail and then still have your kids in foster care.
I think she gave birth to her and she wasn't in foster.
Okay.
And they let her have her.
Okay. Just learning.
And then they took her because she was living out of her car.
Got it.
And a child cannot be living out of their car. And she was living out of her car for a while. So then we got her and she was like just such a light and everybody loved her. And like all my kids' friends would come over and play with her. Like I still get text messages too.
She was 2.
Yep. And she was mixed.
Beautiful.
She was beautiful. She was so beautiful. And she is so beautiful. And then mom, right after Gigi was born, though, had a little boy. But she gave him up before the baby was even born because she was so against having a child in the system. And so he was adopted because she had an addiction issue to meth because she had already adopted him out. So DSS had told us that the mom would like her to be in the care of another person that the mom knew but wasn't a family member. But they were pretty positive that wouldn't happen because this person didn't have a job, was on food stamps, already had a 1-year-old. Obviously, they're not going to take a little girl who's like very well adjusted with 4 other siblings or whatever you want to call them. We took her on vacation and everything. And like the next week, they took her.
No.
Yeah.
So there's no warning.
You quickly realize once you get into the foster care system that like it's not about you at all. And it really isn't about you.
Yeah. I mean, anytime
it shouldn't be about you.
Yeah.
Right. It's a broken system and I don't know how to even, I wouldn't even know how to fix the system because I mean, we live in a broken world. Hard for the government to fix the system. It's hard for people to fix it. It's just hard. It's just like kids are not supposed to not be with their parents. Parents, we are supposed to be responsible. But honestly, like, I feel like we're all like one bad decision away from being exactly where these other parents are.
Wow.
You know, like anything could happen. We could go to Mary's and have 2 drinks and come home and like not be drunk, get pulled over and get a DUI.
You're exactly right.
And
that's where the soft spot is for these mamas.
Yeah. You really have to be like doing not good things to get your kids taken away. It is hard.
Yeah.
They don't just take kids away.
Oh, and the goal, like you said, is to get them back to the mamas.
Well, caseworkers are exhausted. Caseworkers have been lied to and they don't believe they're pardoned. Not all of them, obviously, but like a lot of them, they've all been lied to.
Yeah. It's like a police officer.
Yeah. And so again, like what's the fix? They're also not getting paid a lot of money and they work and like the amount of emotional,
Yeah.
it would just be hard to be a caseworker and like see what's happening to these kids and not really be able to do anything about it.
I agree. And I think probably within the first month that we were friends, I heard about Gigi
Yeah.
because she meant so much. She still means so much to your
Yeah.
family. Do you still hear about Gigi?
Once a child leaves your house, like there's no more communication unless you have like a relationship with the parents. There is a sister and brother that we had for a while
Yeah.
that we do have communication with the mom.
Oh.
And she did get her kids back. And that's amazing.
The rewarding part.
Yeah.
Aw.
Really amazing. But I did find out because I, am basically an FBI agent.
1,000%. Every girl needs that girl, and you are that girl.
Yeah.
Hey, so and so down the street stepped on my big toe. 2 seconds later, I know his blood type.
Yeah.
Love that.
So I searched her up couple months ago and found out that through like conversations that people had that Gigi did get to go back to her mom,
Yeah.
but then her mom died. Yeah. Overdose. So I don't know where she is. But at the same time,
there's no way.
yeah. No,
I mean, if you don't know.
at the
Nobody
same
knows.
time, I reached out to our agency. So after
Yeah.
Gigi was done, after she left, Bradley's hysterical. All the kids are hysterical. Everyone's hysterical. Gigi is smiling,
No.
which made me not hysterical. Because every time she got into the car with the DSS workers to go anywhere, she was hysterical. But this last time, she was smiling at me and she waved at me. And I was like,
That's all the peace
Okay.
your mama heart
Yeah.
needed.
yeah. And so I don't know where she is, but I don't know what's going on with her. But obviously,
How
I
old
think
would she
about
be
her
right now?
four. So we stopped after her. I'm like, we need a break.
Y'all need a break.
break.
Your hearts needed a
Yeah.
break.
Our beautiful church had CFK come in and talk to us. You didn't feel like you were sitting behind me during this time.
Yeah.
I was hysterical.
Yeah.
You might have been crying too. I don't know, but they were talking about Charlotte and they were talking about the amount of kids in only Mecklenburg County that are in foster care and how there is like 80 licensed foster families at that time and like 1,000 kids in foster care in just Mecklenburg County.
It's insane.
And so I'm bawling, Brad's crying, and I'm like, I feel like we should probably get relicensed. And so we did.
Yes, you did.
And so it begins.
So it begins. So every time I'm with you, you get a text like, hey, I've got this kid. Hey, I've got that kid. Hey, this. And you're just waiting for all the stars to align, I feel like.
We always say yes.
Yeah.
Even though it feels hard.
Yeah.
And Sarah Lynn was talking the other day.
Yeah.
She voice messaged me and she explained it exactly how I was feeling. She's like, oh my gosh. So you get the call, so you get excited.
Yeah.
And then they tell you about the kids. And so you're excited and you say yes, even though you're scared because you're like, 2 kids, what?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. We have 4 kids already. And but you say yes anyways. And then they say no. Not because of anything other than like, all the situations are always different. So we had 2 little girls, a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
Their sister had just been born. And it's okay. And she was born with drugs in her system. So there was 4 girls. So they took all 4 girls out. And we could take 4 girls. We were not offered 4 girls, we were offered 2. We really should only have 1 because we already have 4 kids. So there's like a rule. But they're like, we can get a waiver. And I'm like, oh, really? Thanks. 1 is good. But of course, I would never split them up.
No.
The 2 girls, the 2 and 3-year-olds.
That would be
like a living
so
Whitney.
tough.
Could you imagine?
No.
So even though Brad was like, that feels like a lot. And I'm like, could you imagine someone splitting up Whitney and Olympia? He's like, okay, take them
that
both.
way.
Take them both, Katie. Well, someone ended up taking all 4 of them. Yeah. So maybe someone without any kids.
Yeah, that's what I
Like
mean.
instant family.
Yeah. Yeah. So like
a newborn, a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, and probably a 4-year-old little girl.
Stop. What? Stop. So how does one get started with the process?
You can go through whatever county you live in. So Union County was the first foster system that we went through, and it was during COVID. We didn't tell anybody. We didn't tell my parents because I kind of feel like I hear you have enough going on, or you have enough going on. Like this, you're fine. Like you don't need to do anything else. And I'm like, okay, thanks for feeling that way. And you're right, I do. I do have enough going on. But like, what's the purpose of being on this earth?
Oh,
Is it just for the comfort of ourselves? No, not. I
love your heart
literally,
so good.
literally just listened to the Bible recap. I saw on like day 7.
Yeah.
So that's like day 7 from like the beginning of the year.
Oh,
So the Bible recap goes through the whole Bible in the year.
yeah.
And like
You're on day 7.
7 this morning.
I
did
think I
that.
saw somewhere that we're halfway through the year already.
We are. I should be
So
like
fun.
way
Girl.
today though, which is so interesting
Yeah.
that you asked that question today because we're in Job, and you know Job has gotten everything taken away from him.
Like good old bud.
Yeah, just everything. And she talked about, and I like wrote it down in my phone because I was walking, and she talked about the word deserve. Yeah, deserve. Like, you deserve that. I deserve that.
Ooh.
And how it's just such a nasty word because we don't deserve anything.
No.
We literally deserve nothing.
No.
And we're not called here
No.
to be comfortable.
No.
But we all want to feel comfortable.
Yeah. You know what I always replace deserve with?
What?
Earned.
Yeah.
Yeah. I cannot.
Or I was so
No.
like God gave it to me.
Yes.
Like you,
or that.
or
Yeah.
I don't deserve that. I do all these things. I don't deserve this. And I'm like, that's gross.
Yeah. Deserve is a tricky one. You like being uncomfortable. I think if things were comfy, you wouldn't know what to do with yourself.
It was weird when we got that house.
Yeah.
And it was like, we made it. I was like, this isn't right.
I never got to see it, but I've heard it.
Yeah.
It was a big one.
Yeah. But it wasn't right.
It wasn't?
No, I remember standing there while the guys were doing the floors and there are people everywhere. And I'm like,
I mean, we're talking how many bedrooms? How much?
it was 5,000 square feet.
Okay.
So I mean,
that's
I mean,
that's a big house.
Yeah, it's a big house.
Yeah.
3 floors, everything. It was just very like majestic almost because everything was tall ceilings everywhere.
Yeah, it just felt grand.
Big grand staircase in the middle of the house that you could see from everywhere. It's like
Gorgeous.
It was beautiful. And I just was like, this doesn't feel right.
No.
And then when we sold the house in 1 second and moved into this rental, it's small. Like but it's not small, you guys. It's 3,000 square feet. But like my kids were like, thank you so much. This is so cozy. It feels like a home.
That's bizarre.
And that's the same thing I felt like
whenever, but you needed it.
I couldn't make the other house feel like a home.
Oh, yeah. Every time I come here, everybody's in the same room.
And it was like that there too. And like, I feel the most comfortable when I'm with all my kids. I couldn't sleep when we were in Rhode Island a couple years ago. And I remember going up to the loft and they're all like on cots and a bed. And like I smushed into a bed with William and I fell asleep and slept like for 12 hours. Yeah. So there's something to be said about like, we don't need vast bigness. Like we're not even made for that kind of stuff. Like it's too much.
I agree.
Stuff and just, this is what matters. Like,
I know.
And like,
and to know you is to know, like, as much as we talked about being uncomfortable and stretching ourselves and all of that good stuff, like to know you is to feel comfy. Like you make everybody around you feel comfy while you're being uncomfy and stretching yourself and putting yourself in everybody in, this, what you would think uncomfortable situation. But it turns out that it's the complete opposite.
I don't feel that way.
Because I'm like, I can't bring my newborn.
What?
I can't bring my newborn because we've got, what if he cries? What if he does this? And being around you, I'm like, oh, gosh, like if anything happens, Katie will help me. Like Katie will take him in a heartbeat. I've changed his diaper on the floor,
Yes.
You're like, put him on the couch.
Yeah, like what are you thinking?
Yes.
No. And those are the kind of people I want to be around all the time.
Yes.
Like not where, no, you can do this. And then later they're like, I mean, you changed your child on my couch.
No, you're not like that at all. We were talking about motherhood earlier and different phases of like having your kids young or having your kids old or older. What, from your perspective, what do you think you miss most about who you were before motherhood and what you love most about who you are now?
I miss nothing about who I was before motherhood.
Really?
I was so lost, so insecure, so jealous, so I want. Like, I don't want to be uncomfortable. Like, don't even think about it. I didn't know God, even though I've always been a Christian.
Yeah.
Always loved Jesus. But what does that even mean? Don't even really know him.
No.
And so I was anxious. I was a mess. I felt like you were saying to me about the girls, and I don't know, like just the girls and like how good they are.
Yeah,
Like,
they're
how
good
did you
girls.
do that?
Yeah,
And I'm like,
yeah.
I didn't do that. Like, God did that because I was an equally a mess.
Oh,
Like, they were, like I was telling you, like they have literally grown up with me. I feel like I've never been the kind of parent where it's like, because I said so.
no, you're
Like,
not.
like,
But that was the question, because you're very open with your girls, and you're very like you talk to them like they're adults, and you're very like your whole family is very tight knit, I feel like, because of that.
yeah, I don't think that, I think that knowledge is power.
Yeah.
And I don't think we need to be scared. Like, a lot of people want to like shelter their kids from all the
Yes.
bad things, but like, that's fine.
Yeah.
You should do whatever makes you feel comfortable as a mom. For me, they've been sheltered from things, but I also want them to be aware of things so they don't look, they're not ignorant to things that are going on, because whether we like it or not, things are going on all around us that, whether you agree with it or you don't agree with it, it only does them justice to understand it. Because if they understand what's happening, then they're not confused about it.
And they know what they're fighting.
Yeah, or what they're
Yeah.
not fighting, or
Yeah.
what people are talking about, so they don't look like they. I just want them to
Prepared.
be prepared and be
Yeah.
comfortable and like understand the consequences of actions. And but I didn't do it. Like, it was God, because I feel like Whitney brought us all back to church when we moved down here, because we couldn't find a church and we were hopping around. And she's like, Mom, I want to go to Elevation. And I'm like, okay, like, all right, let's do it. Let's do it. Like, that's fine. And we did. And it was great. And it was fine. And it wasn't like the right place for us. Once we started getting really deep, it wasn't serving our family anymore. And I really wanted to find a church that was very center to where we live, because I love I love my kids going to the neighborhood school. I want to go to the neighborhood church. Like,
Yeah.
I want to be connected to people in my community.
When did it switch for you, where you and Brad, y'all talked about this on your last podcast, but when y'all started listening to your kids, like you just brought up, like Whitney brought us back into church.
Yeah.
Like, I grew up, you were seen, not heard,
100%.
stay pretty,
Yes.
be quiet, follow the rules, whatever. And it sounds kind of similar maybe, but how did you more so, just listen to what I say and yes, ma'am, no, ma'am type vibe? When did you go, wait, Whitney wants to go back to church, or so and so? I don't know. When did that switch?
We were talking about how you need to like switch over to become more of like a mentor than like a parent. Like, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I think kids are so smart.
Yeah.
And I think they're smarter than we think they are and that we give them credit for. When she said that, I was like, you're right.
Yeah.
Like, how can a kid say we should go back to church? And then you're like, no. Church?
Yeah. But
Like, what kid wants to go to church?
yeah, none.
Right?
Yes.
So like that I also didn't have a lot of self-confidence growing up at all. And I think that had a lot to do with my anxiety and stuff like that. But I have developed a lot of self-confidence. That I think that is something that I, hands down, like, you don't have to be a straight A student. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care if you play a sport, or I don't care. I just want you to feel grounded and self-confident and confident in yourself and confident in your decisions. And so I think letting them make those decisions, like, okay, well, you can stay up till midnight if you want to.
Yeah.
But I mean, you have at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. So
be
I feel like crap. And that's going to just be a life lesson that I guess you're going to learn.
I love that.
But I don't think that I probably most of the time didn't handle it the right way. I don't know. When I tell you that it's God, because I was just as immature, I feel like.
I don't think you're giving yourself enough credit.
Well,
at all. I watch you with your kids, and I watch how confident these kids are. And I think because you fixated on that, the result is amazing. I mean, if anybody sees any 4 of your beautiful children, and I say beautiful because they are beautiful inside and out, and they are confident. I think that living with intent, and that was a big part of it, is you literally paused and you said, no, this is important. And you and Brad,
and like doing the things, like doing the things instead of just like saying it or preaching it. Like, trying to do it. We're all trying to do it. We're all trying to be the best we can be. But like for me, it was always a priority to like, the minute Olivia was born, I was like, I don't want to be out of shape. I don't want to be, I want to be mentally on my game. I want to be, the only thing that's important is them. And because like you have a responsibility once you make a human. To make a good human, right? To like, that's the goal, especially with these boys. Like, I know. Well, there's so many things with the boys, but like just making sure that they are careful in so many ways, respectful and kind, and I mean, obviously the girls too, because mean girls, they're so mean girls. I was telling some of the girls in the Bible study, like, you guys, like the mean girls turn into mean moms. We're still dealing with these really insecure women that have never self-reflected. Even me sometimes, right?
Sure.
Like
All of us have that in us, but as long as, we check ourselves and we surround ourselves with good humans, I feel like that's a biggie, especially at this age. You've mentioned it a couple times, and I know you're on fire to talk about this, which is that there's a movement happening right now. You've kind of brushed the topic a few times, but Shine's a big part of that.
Yeah.
Kids praying before football games.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Cheerleaders praying.
I've never seen it.
Cheerleaders from other teams.
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
You mentioned something about, and I do want to get to Shine because I think a lot of people have lots of questions about Shine. But you've mentioned anxiety before. What's something people misunderstand about what anxiety actually feels like for you?
Have you had anxiety before?
Yeah, I used to have panic attacks. Those were fun.
Does anyone not have panic? I just like, is it normal to not have panic attacks?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know any. None of my people.
Do you know anybody who has that? Because anxiety is crazy. Now that I think now that I am on the other side of it, I know what my anxiety feels like. Like the other day, and I don't really feel it very often, but the other day I was feeling it and it felt like something was off. I even like sent a message to Jules because I'm like, are we good? Is everything okay? And she's like, what are you talking about? And I kind of elaborated and she's like, I feel the same way. And it's like this anxiety, which is kind of goes along with like this movement also, which also goes along with the spiritual warfare.
Yeah, they're connected for sure.
That's going on right now, which is the connector of all the things, you guys. Like, whether you believe in Jesus yet or not, it's not a question of if he's going to come back. It's a question of when he's going to come back. And so I think that is why there is this movement of kids, like young kids, like fifth graders, sixth graders, like even Jack's age. And like, but the high school girls, the high school boys, what junior or senior in high school is talking about Jesus and saving himself for marriage? Who's doing that? A lot.
Really?
And not drinking in college. Like what? And not feeling the pressure to do that because they are like on another level. Like we have so many of the high school cheerleaders are in Shine Faith and excited about Jesus, even if their parents are not.
So how does one get connected into Shine Faith? How does a mom put their daughter in touch with y'all?
You can find us on social media, Shine Inspire Teens on Instagram. You can go to shineteens.org on the internet and find us there. And what Shine Teens is, it's not like a religious anything. It's a place where girls can go and they learn communication skills. They learn friendship skills. They learn nutrition. It's just a way to create, and it's an environment that like really helps build self-confidence.
Golly, can I go?
Yes, I know. We do need to have them. We all say that. Like we all say that. Jules, who is amazing. You guys been listening have heard her also, but she is a certified coach and she has been doing it for so many years. And when you go, these girls are seen and heard and it's incredible. And what was been born out of that is Shine Faith. And Jules' story is amazing, and how she came to Jesus and her life now.
Two separate things.
They're two separate things.
Yeah.
It's really hard to shine without Jesus, right?
Yeah.
These girls are realizing that, and they are coming over to Shine Faith, whether their parents are Christians or not, no religion at all. They are coming, and it's really cool.
What is the story behind Invisible Strings? What pain or hope pulled you towards starting it?
I prayed to God every single day that since I started having panic attacks in 1996, that he would take away my anxiety. And if he could just take it away,
Yeah.
I would help anybody and everybody with mental health. He did take it away, but he didn't take it away until like 3 years ago. So I had to go through all the things I went through. So I'd have all this experience and knowledge on the other end of it. I had posted something in October, and I had been talking about this podcast for 2 years. And in October, I had posted a video about however many years it's been that I've had on the anniversary of my panic attack. And I was so excited about doing it.
Yeah.
I sat there and filmed it 17 times and then deleted it 17 times and left the bathroom because my bathroom was like so pretty. So pretty. It was such a good place to do a podcast or just do a video. And I left and walked downstairs, annoyed, got this bad feeling in my stomach. And I walked right back upstairs and filmed it one more time and just sent it. And I'm like, whatever. If it just helps one person, that's all that matters. I'm like, you know what? You don't even have to show me. Just, I hope it helps somebody. And the next day, a girlfriend of mine that I hadn't talked to in a long time who lives here called me and told me that she'd been struggling alone for 6 months with panic attacks, that she'd never had a panic attack in her whole life before. Her life flipped upside down, inside out. And we talked for 3 hours. And I was like, you didn't have to show that to me. You didn't have to do that. And I'm like, I'm just going to start it now. I think it's time. And I just was like, I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm just going to do it. And
you were born to do this because from the music intro to the segments to you pause and you ask the right questions and even just having like this interview now, it is hard. Like
you're really good at it.
Like it's not natural.
Really? Yeah, you're really natural.
And no, because you and I can go down a rabbit hole, right? Like real easy. We'll see, that zinnia. Oh my gosh. Did you photograph? Where did you go? You went to, you photographed at that farm. I love that farm. Hey, I think they have strawberries.
We should go pick them next week.
We should go pick them. You and I could do that all day long. And it is taking like a conscious effort to make sure that because there are so many things that you are involved in that are important. And I want to make sure that we address them. And I mean, it's hard and you do it so naturally. I mean, it's really,
taking all of me just to say thank you right now.
No, it is.
Thank you so much for all those compliments.
I have a little not icebreaker, but because we're like knee deep in at this point, but I have like a really interesting question.
Okay.
What is a prayer that you've whispered that you've never said out loud? And I asked this question because you were so open that I kind of want to peel the curtain back just a little bit. Something that you've whispered, a prayer that you've whispered that you've never said out loud.
No, what have I whispered that I've never said out loud?
Because you're very open and you think it, you say it, and we love that about you.
I think that Brad and I will be married for the rest of our lives, and they'll have tons of kids and great grandchildren. We'll be able to watch everything we created one day sitting there. And I hope that happens. I hope that's a path.
I love that. To know you and Brad is a treat. To compliment each other so well. I love you two together so much. It is so rare how long have y'all been married?
It's going to be 19 years.
19 years. It is so rare to have a couple that is good friends, loves each other, but likes each other too still. With 4 kids, and foster babies. How do y'all keep it together? How do y'all keep it fresh? How are you still besties? Like, tell me everything.
I feel like a lot of times we're not. Like, let's be honest, right?
Oh my God.
It is really intentional,
Yeah.
really hard work. Yeah.
Like, when you say hard work, like, what do you mean?
Like being flexible,
Yeah.
like changing. I'm a big personality. I feel like when I want to do something, I'm like, let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to think about things for very long because I feel like when I think of something, it's the thought's not being put in my head for no reason. Well, sometimes, but like most of the time, I feel like I'm ready to do it. And Brad's like, let's go. Like he is on board with what I want. I need sometimes someone to be like, we're gonna hold up. Like let's take a breath. I saw someone.
Right?
Well, he's had to become good at that. But like I saw someone say the other day, I don't understand what it means when someone says, my husband says I can't do it because I could bring home a whole school of like nurse sharks. My husband would be like, well, this is really inconvenient, but let me go build an aquarium. And that's bad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Now, has he come up with grand ideas and you easily go with them?
Yes, but his are typically a little bit more thought out and
Which makes it easier to go.
we both are kind of the same that way though. I guess we're kind of the same. And like we were talking about that yesterday. I was like, okay, we really need there's something that we both do is that we both have these amazing ideas and we can't always execute them because we get stuck. We get stuck at a point where it's like, okay, here's all the things we need to do. And then it's just like, so we talked about that yesterday. I think communication is the most important thing, period. I really do not know how people can last in their marriages without Jesus. And I keep bringing it back to Jesus. I do not know. Yeah. Because Satan is everywhere. Yeah. In every detail of our entire life. And he's so good at hiding. Yeah. That's what he's best at. And we don't even see it. Sometimes Brad will have to be like, this feels something else is happening here. This is something's going on here. From the minute that we got together, he has been trying to make it go away. Like from all this stuff with his dad, he offered him $10 million not to marry me.
Holy crap.
Only 10 million, really?
I mean,
I'm priceless.
You're
As you know.
You're at least worth a lot.
Yeah. I mean, 10 and a half. 10? It's a round number.
Come on.
So from that, and like that could have been very enticing.
Yeah.
It's your dad.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money.
Oh, this was like a serious offer. Oh, we're not just throwing that out.
It seemed like they loved me forever until he proposed to me. Then it was like he was losing control of his son and like I was controlling him. And I'm like, I don't want to control anything. Can someone control me? I need to be controlled. I don't want to be controller. I want to be nothing. I want to just be like, take care of me.
Take care of me. Independent life.
Yeah, right. I can do it.
We talk about that all the time.
We can do it. Yeah. But we don't want to.
I'm going to move this couch on my.
Yeah, I'm going to.
But I mean.
But if someone else wants to do it, maybe someone else.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm totally down for that.
Yeah. So he's always in the details, but God is even more in the details. But it's like we have to be so aware. Yeah. And that's where having friends that are also aware where
your tribe, man.
I had an issue and I talked to Jules about it. And instead of her being like, ew, what a jerk, whatever, she was like, do you not see the spiritual warfare going on right now? It is your husband's birthday tomorrow. Yeah. Obviously, this is going to happen right now so that you can't have a good time. My mind was blown. Like, we know this stuff.
That is such a gift.
But if you have someone who can remind you.
And that's the best.
And then you don't have to sit in it by yourself. Yeah. And then that led us to having this conversation that Satan is sneaky in friendships, marriage, raising your children, and even if you don't believe in him, my friends, look at this world right now. Are you kidding me? Woo. I'm not even worried about it.
You're not. I know.
Why would we be worried about it?
I know. I walked in. I was like, are we going to have World War III?
I can't wait. Like, let's go.
Bless it.
It's coming. I mean, it's not, again, it's not like if it's going to happen. It's like, when is it going to happen? Because it's going to happen. We already know the ending. So.
And this is why it is so hard for me, again, to wrap my head around how you live your life without Jesus in your heart.
But how did we live it for as long as we lived it?
Yeah.
And maybe you've been on that plane forever, but like I've always been a believer, but I never
Yeah.
have been as intimately
Yeah.
connected with him as I am now.
I think I've gone through phases. I started out really strong, and then I'm like,
too.
okay, I'm going to drive the wheel for a little bit,
Yeah.
and
I'm
then I'm like, and then I wreck, and then I'm like, oh, just kidding. Like,
Can you help me again?
you need to drive.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
But
then
like,
I do it again, and then I hit a patch of
yeah,
black ice, and he's like, I'm like, oh, I don't want to get behind the wheel again.
like that you
Yeah.
just said, you send
Yeah.
that to me? Do you
No.
just take the wheel?
Oh, maybe
No, like,
I did.
can
That
you really
girl's
take it? Like, take it.
hysterical.
No, I'm serious.
Yes.
I don't want it back. Just
Yeah,
like
yeah,
take
yeah,
it.
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
please just take it. Thank
Yeah.
you.
She's so funny.
Yeah. I think that.
Yes.
So I know like everyone wants to have like their girl group, which is, yeah, you should for sure. But like make sure
Yeah.
that they're solid. But that means that
Yeah.
you need to be solid too.
I know.
You know? Like
I
that
know.
means that you need to also like, and that's where you like, you're holding each other accountable and you're like, that was a really crappy thing to do, Katie, or like, you shouldn't have said that to Brad or whatever. Yeah.
No.
Those kind of things. And so, or like,
Yeah.
maybe think about it this way.
Yeah.
And the other thing I heard today, which was really humbling to me, I guess, was that in Job, he is obviously going through a lot. And his friends are supposed to sit there with him in his like pain
Yeah.
and not like try to fix it.
Yeah.
And just like, and I haven't felt like I needed to fix things in a really long time.
Yeah.
I don't want to fix anything. I just want to like, how can I help you?
Oh,
Because we can't
sit
fix
there.
it.
No. And when you're going through it, you've given it up to Jesus, right? You've given it up. There's nothing more you can do at this point.
Yeah.
And sometimes you do just need a friend just to sit. Just sit. Remind me, okay, did you give it up? Yeah, I gave it up. Okay, well, just sit. And maybe you just need to give it up, with it again and again and again and again, minutely, hourly, daily. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's sweet.
Yeah.
If you could bottle up one moment from your life to keep forever, what would it be?
One.
Yep.
One.
Yeah.
I would say the birth of my kids, but you just said one. So it'd be Olivia's birth because she's first. She's not my favorite. She's just first. But when she was born, and I remember it's really weird when you have your first kid because you like find out you're pregnant. You're like, oh my God, this is so amazing, usually. And then in my mind, I was like, oh, I'm growing what is going to happen right now? And then you go through it and you start and you're getting toward the end of it and your stomach is gigantic and your feet and all the things. And then you're like, how is this baby going to come out?
For me, it was the roller coaster. You're strapped in. The roller coaster is moving. You're going.
Doesn't matter what you do.
Yeah.
Your body is going to eject this thing out of you no matter what you do.
Yeah.
Whether you want to do it or not, it's
Yeah.
still happening. You can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
And so I think that's one of the reasons I love birth is because it was a time where I had no control over anything and I couldn't even try to have control over it because I had no control. No matter what, I had to either get it together and get on board or I could just be there, but it was still going to happen whether or not I was ready. So I remember being like, I'm not really going to push this baby out.
Right.
How is that going to happen?
Right.
And then it happened and she came out and they showed her to me and I was like, she's like my dad and I'm taking her home. And they're like, yep, she's yours. The enormity of the situation of like the fact that you just made a person from nothing and they have all of their pieces where they're supposed to be and you just delivered them out of your body.
Yeah.
And now you can feed them and now they're yours and good luck.
How do you put that into words? I know that feeling.
But it's, how do you not have a child and then not believe? Oof. It's miraculous.
Yeah.
It's really a miracle that our bodies can do that. And every single thing that has to happen to form that earlobe, as perfect as it is, it's so much bigger than us. How do you not believe?
What would you tell 16-year-old Katie? Think about that. Your girls are world travelers, right? They just went to London and Paris. And I was driving on the way here and I was like, God, what was I doing at 16?
Wasn't doing that.
No. What would you say to your 16-year-old self?
It is going to be so amazing.
Yeah.
It's going to, you don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah.
But I needed to.
Yeah.
Do all those things to get to where I'm at.
The resilience.
Could you imagine? I have Sarah Lynn is loved Jesus like that since she was 4.
I can't wait to meet her.
I can't wait for you to meet her.
She sounds
love her.
Yes.
She's just light. I mean, she will love you as equally. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Complement each other well.
And
she found me at church. She's like, come here. I was looking for you. I need you to meet my friend. You will love her. You guys will be the bestest friends, and just
love that.
Just yeah.
Sweetheart.
Yeah. And her friend is Iranian.
Yeah.
Christian Iranian who had to leave Iran. Well, I think she left with her parents were pastors and so was his parents. And they had to leave Iran because in Iran, you can't be Christian. And so they would have gone to jail.
Wow.
So there's pastors in Iran that there's an organization that Forest Hill is part of now that ministers to pastors in Iran so that when they go to jail, they can minister to all the people in the jails. Because it's not, again, when it's, or
I can't even wrap my head around that.
You're standing there.
I tell Chandler all the time, I'm like, Chandler, do you realize how lucky we are to be born where we were?
It's, again, enormity is.
Let alone the South, but also.
Right.
But also in America, and if we want to go and pray with our friend right now, we can't.
We don't even know persecution.
No.
People throw that word around so quickly here in the United States. And guys, you don't know persecution. I don't know persecution.
No.
I don't care what religion, ethnicity you are in America. In America, you don't know persecution.
No. We can't even fathom what those ministers are going through and what they're training for.
Battle. Literally. I mean, we are all training for battle, but man, they are literally in the battle. They're staying there on purpose to be in the battle to get his name and his love to anybody and everybody, every nation and tongue.
I'm almost envious of the relationship that they have.
I know.
I'm I want to be that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I want to be that connected that my life is literally on fire.
Yeah.
And
how did they even become Christians living in Iran?
Those stories.
I know. It's amazing.
Amazing. Mm-hmm. That's goals.
So when we were talking about winter break this year with the kids, we were like, okay, let's go on a cruise. Let's go do this. Let's do that. Let's da-da-da. And we're looking things up online. And all of a sudden we were like, we should do a mission trip.
Yeah.
Let's do that instead. Thanksgiving, Christmas, whatever. But we don't need to do all this stuff.
No.
And the kids are like, yes.
See,
what?
I think
that's so selfless.
I think all of us forget that it starts with us. And if we just pause for a minute and think, okay, get ourselves out of the people next door mode and go, hey, let's shake this up a little bit. What would that look like?
And what if everyone did that? What if everyone, instead of going to Disney World, they went to Haiti or something?
Can we?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. And even people talking about going to Israel, and my mom's like, it's not a good time right now. I'm like, Mom, we would be fine. We would be fine. I feel like we are literally walking around with these massive angels, which are warriors.
1,000%.
All around us, all the time, killing people over there and there. They're here.
Oh, yeah.
They're here.
Yeah.
And all the things that have happened today, you guys, so that this couldn't happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My mom used to always say, she's like, man, Emily, she said, you got a hairy angel looking after you.
Mm-hmm.
And she's right. Mine's a linebacker. With tattoos.
They're everywhere. They're in front and behind and on either side.
It's tired.
Yes. Because the fact
is just going, Earl, I need you to
stop doing that.
Get it together.
I am tired of fighting.
Exhausted.
That's why you guys have the strength, okay? I know you're here. You can hear me.
Yeah.
Keep fighting.
Yeah.
We're going to it's going to come hard. It's going to just keep getting harder and harder. That's amazing.
I mean it. And there's so much more that needs to be said, but
so hard to hear that stuff.
I know it is.
You do?
Yeah.
Do you love hearing it too?
No. This is why we're photographers, because we like being on the other side of the lens.
I know. This has been so much fun.
I've had a blast, but
I do it again.
Yes, but I'm not interviewing anybody ever again. This was not like this was very hard.
This didn't, it didn't feel hard. It didn't look hard.
You make it very, very, very easy. You make it look easy. You are seamless with the way that you do this. I am in awe of you, and you are definitely living your purpose by doing this. Yes, it is not easy, friends.
When I get the call from Kate in London, you're coming with me.
Oh my gosh, I would love to document it.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Yeah. Can I I'll hide in your suitcase, and then I'll just do behind the scenes photos.
You don't need to hide. That's a long flight. We're going to be sitting in business class.
I just want to take her picture.
You know what? I think she will probably put us on their private plane.
Oh, yeah. I forgot.
I mean, they're the royals.
Yeah, they would have. Yeah. I mean, I can't travel without this one. So.
He's coming.
Thank you for letting me interview you.
Thanks.
This has been fun.
Yay.
I love you more.
Thank you for joining me today on this episode of Invisible Strings, where we've tugged at a few threads and hopefully left you with a smile and something to think about. Remember, life's connections might be invisible, but they're oh so strong. If you enjoyed today's chat, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who could use a little string pulling in their life. Until next time, keep those invisible strings intact, and I'll see you back here soon for more heartfelt conversations and a dash of fun. Stay connected, stay kind, and keep untangling.